Hey, what's up? This is Joshua. Start series episode 9? 8, 9, 8, sorry. I am I'm kind of near the highway, near a highway exit ramp right now, which is maybe not the best for sound, and it's windy out, but I was kind of tripping out on this grim playground right next to the highway, which I guess it's good that there's a playground, but it's hidden and strange. So anyway, that's our scenic location for today's video. Sorry, I need a drink. Okay, so welcome to the Start series. This is a daily video blog dealing with how to start projects, how to stay motivated, how to deal with creative block, basically how to have the right frame of mind for working productively and pushing something forward. So what I want to talk about today is probably the most not abstract but not quite as actionable idea as the rest of these videos, and that is this. What is it? It is one of the reasons that I think I allow myself to fail in public, or potentially fail in public, to publish work, mistakes and all, to not be overly concerned with, is this good, so much as, did this feel like a good use of my time? That's kind of like the measure I use to publish this sort of stuff. Does it feel valuable on some level? And was I compelled to do it? I have a basic belief that if I'm compelled to do something, if I feel the urge to do it, something creative or something that's for the benefit of my health or something like that, then I do myself a disservice by not doing it, and that if I feel compelled to do it, that then it's of value and it's worth doing and worth sharing. Sorry, I got my cold tears going on if you've seen video number 2. Now, part of the reason that I can do that, and I think it's a mindset that allows me to, is that I have a long-term view of what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do it without attachment. So these videos, I try to keep them one topic at a time. I don't have a plan at all. There's no document in my house listing out what video to do next. Typically what'll happen is I'll drive to work in the morning and I might try a sort of dry rehearsal of, maybe I'll talk about this today, and I'll see if I can talk about it in a way that makes sense to me. But I just do it once to sort of get myself mildly comfortable with it. And then in general, I'm sort of thinking about, like, is that the thing I'm going to talk about this morning? But other than that, I have no real attachment to an outcome for these videos. I'm trying very hard not to think about how many to do. I'm trying very hard not to think about how many people are watching them. I do my best not to get any sort of little fantasies in my head like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if somebody saw this and then said, can you come speak here and do your and talk about this topic? Of course that's something I'd love. That'd be great, but I'm trying really hard to be free from any attachment to an outcome for these. What I'm trying to do as best as possible is just be concerned with this. I still have something to say on the topic. I'm going to record it. I'm going to publish it. I'll post it on Twitter and Facebook, and then I need to move on. Though I'll watch them again to figure out what else they remind me of to talk about. But there's no real publishing strategy, no marketing strategy, no overarching idea, other than today I have this idea about attachment, and tomorrow I might have another idea. And if I don't have an idea tomorrow, then I'll post a video saying, okay, maybe I'm done with this, I'm not sure. But so the attachment idea is really important, because if I'm not attached to an outcome, then I can't make any mistakes on the way to that outcome. Instead, I can simply do what I'm doing right now, which is learn by doing. I have this idea for it. Maybe I will learn as I review these, or maybe I'll review them in 2 weeks and go, dear God, that whole thing sucked. Everything you did sucked. Next time, rehearse more of them, record multiples at a time, and edit them. That might be totally reasonable. Even if I have that idea, I won't delete these and I won't get rid of them. Even if I redid them, I would just publish the updated version. because I want to have a record of what I'm doing, and I firmly believe in the idea of learning by doing. And because I already have a job, I already have a life, I'm not trying to do some craziness of build my build a new business off this. I'm not looking for like, here's the public speaking hacks that will get you paid speaking gigs at corporations. Like, I don't need that, and it's not on my agenda. My agenda is very simply talk about what you care about and get better at doing it. And this is one of the things with teaching that I think is really important is at some point it becomes important to be concerned about your portfolio, but it still comes down to, are you compelled to do the work that you're doing? Do you give a shit? Because if you give a shit, you'll get better. That's my sort of philosophy in a nutshell. Work and give a shit. Working makes you better at working, and you discover things. Giving a shit means you have some kind of standard. You can be a total sort of iconoclast, independent thinker, whatever. If you give a shit, you'll get better. Even if you break every supposed rule of every creative field ever, if you give a shit, you will progress. So in doing these kind of videos, or if I start some new endeavor, I'm going to do my best to not worry about the outcome. I'm not trying to build a business off this. I'm not trying to start a new career. This is just a thing I want to do that I enjoy doing and I want to get better at. And it seems like maybe this one is getting a little bit ranty, but one of the things that sort of bugs me is the notion of people who think that they need to learn some hacks to design so that they can get good really fast. And the fact of the matter is, like, you can't get good fast. You can give the appearance of making status quo work that abides by rules and fits within trends. Certainly you can do that in any field, but that doesn't make you good. And I apologize if that sounds like I'm bitter or a hater or jealous, but watching 100 million videos that teach me how to make the perfect 5-minute video blog to grow your public speaking business, all that does is make me a clone of a bunch of other people's shit, and I don't want that. I want to be my own man, my own person, who has learned how to do the things that he does by doing them and by maintaining my own standards. And so if you get into your project and you start doing your project, I'm operating on the assumption that you have other stuff going on in your life. You have a way of making a living already, so you can afford to take the time to actually get good about what you're doing, develop a philosophy about it, develop a point of view about it, try things, make mistakes, learn from them. Mildly sketchy over here, so I'm just sort of like seeing if anybody's going to come rolling off the highway. Today's video, I get mugged. So when you go into anything, like, go into it, try to be free from an outcome. Try not to have an attachment. Because the other thing that I will say, and I'll post a link to a longer talk I have about this, but my fundamental belief is that when you hit creative block and you don't know what to do, it's almost certainly that you're attached to an outcome, but you're not in a place where you're ready to do that, so you get stuck and you don't know what to do. Whereas if you just, like, if you're going to do a video blog, you could very simply just pick up the phone and say, what do I feel like, what concerns me at this moment right now? There has to be something, and then you could start. But if you've decided going into it, I need to do the best video blog on the topic of poker, and then that day you don't feel like talking about poker, well, you're not going to do a very good video blog, right? Maybe it'd be awesome, but I doubt it. I had a different idea for what this talk would be about. It's actually changed in the last 9 minutes because this was the topic that makes more sense for me to dig into. So start doing the thing that you feel like doing. Start painting. Start your photo project. But even, start running. Run 1 block. Don't be upset that you can't run a mile. Just run a block. Build from that. Don't worry about having some attachment to it. Now, I understand there's an entirely different viewpoint of this, the kind of like Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week thing where you'd be like, no, I need a very specific goal and then I need to learn the hacks to do that. That's fine. Um, Certainly, there's value in that, but my concern is with things I feel compelled to do them for the joy of doing them and getting better at them and getting that gratification of learning and being productive. But don't worry about whether you can monetize them or whether you get to say that you're the whatever that you trained to run a marathon in 2 months. You know what I mean? Like, this allows you to enjoy the time that you're here doing the work. You know, there's enough pressure elsewhere. I have enough pressure just having a job. I don't need to turn this shit into another job. Uh, Thank you, as always, for watching. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm MVA Joshua, also on Instagram and SoundCloud. And I totally appreciate that you're watching this. Leave a comment or a question if you have one. Best.